Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to tutorial number 12 of our C++ series. Today we are unlocking the magic of function overloading to write efficient code. By the end of this video, you will master what are the function overloading and how to create them and why they are used in the C++. So without wasting time, let's start the function overloading. Let's give a start to the function overloading. What is a function overloading? I will explain the function overloading. After the explanation of this function overloading, after doing the theoretical base, we're going to move toward the code, and then we also get the example of the code, and then make you understand in a proper way. So let's talk about the what is a function overloading. The first question that arises in our mind is what is a function overloading and why we use a function overloading in the C++. Function overloading in C++ allow multiple functions with the same name but different parameters. The correct function is selected to at compile time based on an argument passed. Basically, function overloading is similar to the functions, but in this function overloading process, we use the multiple function and with the same name but different parameters, and you have same data types. We use function overloading can be declared with the same name and the different parameters but the same data type. Function the key features that we involve for the function overloading is the function have same name and different parameters. The return type cannot be used to differentiate the function. So it's mean the return type should be similar to each other. This is a basic function overloading code. First of all, we made a function with the name of void display int x. The int is the parameter. Int x is the parameter, sorry, and the void is the data type. It is in nothing. It is not returning anything, so we use the void here. That I told you earlier why we use the void. Why we use the void, and there is another. After creating this function, to make the function overload, we have to create another function, but remember in your mind you have to create the other function with the same name and with same data type but different parameters. It should have different parameter but has same name and same return data type, sorry, return data type. This is a basic structure of function overloading. That void display, this the main is display, the unique name of function is display, and int x is the parameter. And the function, then the second function is void display, has same name as the first function, and they but have different parameter double, and the same return data type and same return data type, and the different parameter because in this parameter there is int, in this parameter there is double. This type of function is known as function overloading. And there is there is a third one function that is displaying, that has a string parameter but same name and same return data type. It means it is a function overloading. And simply there is a main function, we call all the functions, and then we print out the result from that functions. The output will be integers and double string. Why we use a function overloading? Basically, we use function overloading if we're working on the multiple data type, but we want to make we want to program that can select which data type should it goes through this function. And if the data type that is we inserted is the integer, it goes through the integer function. If the data type is double, it goes through this double function. That's why we use the function overloading, so it can decide which type of data type we are going to use. Which type of data type that we are using, and on the basis of this data type, it move toward this function and perform the execution of the body of the code. That's why we use the function overloading, and the output of this code will be the integer double 3.40 and hello. This is the example of function overloading. And there is types of function overloadings. The first type is different number of parameters. It's mean we can make the functions. We can also add the different numbers of parameter. If we made a function with the name of add and make add and making the function overloading, we can increase the size of parameter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't affect the function overloading procedure. If we can increase the size of parameter there. And another thing is we can also in the second types is that we can also change the data type of the uh, parameter. In this function we have integer, and in the second function we have the double. uh, Second time we can use the different types of data types in the functions in the form of function overloading and default argument. This is the third type. If we're using, we can create a default argument string name user. If the user doesn't enter anything, the default name will be display that is user on the screen through this command cout hello and name. But if the user enter any type of name, the user should display this name. It will not display the user message. This is default message display if the no message is there. If we move toward the main function, the greet, we call the function that is greet. We know that this is a function. In this, the default name is user. It will print the username. But in the second line, we call the function, but we change the name of the uh, name a user to alias, and then the default value will be overwrite, and alias will be display on the screen. And this are the basic rules that are involved in the function overloading. Function must have the same name. Function have the same all the function that we are going to use in the C++. Function for process of function overloading. The all the function that are in the code have the same names to overload the function, but have different numbers of parameters or different type of parameter. It can have the different numbers of parameter. We can increase the number of parameters or decrease the number of parameters, and we have to make the function overload. We have to satisfy one of this condition. It should have different numbers of parameters or different number of data type of parameters. For example, if you're using int in the function and the double, so the double other type of data type should be used in the second function, and the return type alone cannot be differentiate the functions. The return type can also not be differentiate the function because we can change the differentiate. This is the invalid overloading example that you can see there. If you write here int add int ab, this is the parameters, and now we again create a function with the name. This is error because it has the different return data type, and it has a different return data type, and the parameters are also same, so that's why it is not a function overload. To match the functionality of function overload, first of all we have to make the same name and same return data type different parameters, with the different parameters or different numbers of parameters or different data types of parameter to make the function overload. What are advantage of function overloading? Based on I told you earlier, by using function overloading, if you are working with the multiple data types, we want to make the program to decide which data type which data types should the program should go to the functions. If it is integer, it will go to the integer function and perform the operation related to integers, and improve the code readability and maintainability over the repetitive functions. It's also help to provide the repetitive functions and for the flexibility in the function behavior. This is the basic function overloading. Now we go move to what the code example. From this code example, you will able to understand in better and easy way. So let's move to the code. This is code. First of all, I will write the code and I will explain the code. Okay, this is the basic code of our function overloading. First of all, I created the function with the name of add, and according to this function, I created the second function with the same name and same return data type, but different parameter. In function first function, I use the integer, and the second function we use it double. So on the basis of the input, the program should decide which integer is the integer, which type of number is integer and which type of number is float. So it moved toward this, move toward that function and provide the response according to it. If I execute and compile and run this code, you will see the answer. It's and let me save this file with the name of tutorial number 12. Save. Oh, sorry, I use a string, and then I execute and compile and run. You have to use the semicolon here also, and then compile and run. You can see there the response is giving that the first function is the it will mix up because you don't use the new line functionality. It's adding the 1 and 2 and providing the 3 result, and it's also adding the 2.3 and 4.5 floating point, that is 6.8. It get matched, get close to each other because we don't use line difference. So I simply use the line difference here, and so you can easily understand slash and this. Now you can easily find out what is the difference. Now you can see there the function overloading is working perfectly. So simply it is adding the both value a and b, that is reproducing the result 3, and also adding the two floating point, that is 2.3 and 4.5. It also automatically detect which is the floating data type and it move toward that particular function. Sorry, it automatically detect which is the double data type. It goes to that double data type function and execute and move toward that function and perform the calculation and execute that function. If I write here in point, it will not reproduce me answer in point because the return data type is sorry, because it is integer. Sorry, uh, I will comment this code, and then I will this is not a function overloading, so it will not print out the result and the point. You can see there the result is not printing out the in the point because this is the all the functionality moved toward the integer function. When I activate this double function and comment this double function with a double parameter function, it will provide me answer in double. This is a basic similarity that is involved. That is the function overloading. So, and now you have just unlocked the power of function overloading in C++. Now you know the their structure and type and how to build the parameters and return data types. Like a pro. If this video helped you crack this code, hit the like button and it fueled the channel. Don't forget to subscribe and tap the bell icon so you never miss a tutorial. Got a question or idea? Short or got a question or idea? Leave the comment and I will answer that question for you. Okay. If you like my video, please give a thumbs up. I will see you in the next video with a new lecture and with a new topic. Okay. Allah Hafiz.